This video is sponsored by Raid: Shadow Legends, a brand new RPG experience on iOS and Android. Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Sam. We just got a fresh report today suggesting that the iPhone SE 2, a smaller like 4.8-inch screen size device with an edge-to-edge display, could actually be in the works for 2019. We've got a fresh report today that I want to break down, fill you in on all the latest details, and why you might want to wait if you're about to buy a new iPhone. Drop a like if you're excited for that, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date and you never miss a beat on Apple news. So let's go ahead and jump into this report. It is from a website called pc-tablet.com. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about their track record, but I do know that a lot of the details they're throwing in this report line up with what we've heard about the iPhone SE 2 in the past. And I got to start with the most interesting rumor of them all here, that it's not actually going to be called the iPhone SE 2, but that Apple is basically going to introduce this product, again with around a 4.8-inch edge-to-edge screen, as an extension to the already existing iPhone 10 line. And if there's one thing that I like about the iPhone 10 line, it's the edge-to-edge displays. It makes games like Raid: Shadow Legends look incredible. I've actually had a lot of fun playing this RPG. It is one of the best looking games that I've seen in a very long time. One of the most ambitious projects of 2019. It just came out. It's a really fun experience. It's very immersive, plus it's totally free. It has all the features you'd come to expect from a brand new RPG title: amazing storyline, 3D graphics, boss fights, PvP battles, and hundreds of champions to collect and customize. Again, not sure how they did this on an iPhone, but the level of 3D detail here, you can zoom and pan, spin your characters around, and they look super good. That is my favorite part of this game. Raid is getting big really fast, so of course you guys are going to want to get in early so you can get a head start over everybody else that's playing the game, and there are special launch tournaments with insane prizes that you can get your hands on. So to get started, use my link only down below to get 50,000 free silver and a special epic champion right out of the gate. I've had a ton of fun playing, and I think you guys will as well, so go ahead and get downloading Raid: Shadow Legends. Jumping back into the iPhone XE, or XE as we're now going to be calling it, I have to say this is an incredible looking device. It's pretty much just a smaller version of the iPhone 10 or the XS. Now, a couple days back, Min-Chi said that one of the iPhones in 2019 is going to go down from 5.8 to 5.4 inches. This report claims the iPhone XE is going to have a 4.8-inch display, so maybe they're talking about the same device and they just got the screen specs mixed up a little bit, but it's sort of unclear whether or not this new iPhone, the XE, would be replacing something like the iPhone XR as the lower end device, or if it would be simply like a fourth addition to the iPhone line this year. Now, what really makes me believe in this article, that makes me think there is actually something behind it, it's not just something that someone threw out there online, is because some of the details in here match up exactly with what we've heard before. While some rumors from sources that I didn't really trust in the past said the iPhone SE 2 would have a glass back, this says no. It is not going to feature wireless charging, again to keep costs down here. It is not going to have a glass back. Just like the renders that OnLeak shared a while back now, those weren't glass. It has an aluminum back, and that's exactly what this report says. The iPhone XE, the XE, the SE 2, it's going to have an aluminum back here. Moving on through the rest of the report, there's also some other specs shared here that I believe fall in line with what we've been hearing. Number one, that there is going to be Face ID. Camera-wise, it's actually going to be pretty amazing. It's said to have the similar 12 megapixel camera as the iPhone XR does, and I'm hoping that means it has the smart HDR functionality where it can expose you in the foreground and also a really bright background at the same time. That's been one of the coolest things that Apple has done with iPhone and mobile photography in recent history. For the processor, if Apple follows their current trend, it's probably going to be the Apple A12 Bionic chip. I mean, they threw that in the iPad Mini 5 and the iPad Air. It's in the 2018 iPhones. The A12X is in the iPad Pro from 2018. If Apple would release this device and it's going to be lower end, or at least on the lower end of the spectrum, and it's not announced at the same time as the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Max in September, then I think the A12 Bionic chip would fit right inside this device. The article tops off at battery life and storage capacity. They say they don't really have any info on that just yet, but the article claims that their source is someone inside of Foxconn in India. And this is where it all starts to kind of make sense in at least in my head. So Apple has had a really hard time in some markets in 2017 and 2018. You know that they kind of had a stock drop because they were not really doing that great. They realized that people were upgrading less often. They faced increased competition in markets like India and China. And also, they didn't really say this, but they've hinted at it a lot through like statements that the iPhone is just too expensive. They've put a lot of technology in there. It sort of is mandated to be that pricey, but nobody wants to spend between $750 and 1,000 buckaroos on an iPhone every year. So how does Apple combat this, right? They said, well, this year we're coming out with the XR. It's going to be $750. It's not going to be the iPhone X for 1,000. It's going to have most of the features, but the iPhone XR has a big screen. And a lot of people said, well, I want the 5.8-inch screen, but the XR is cheaper by $250, but it has a bigger screen. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and get that one. And I think a lot of people either didn't upgrade to the XR because it was just too big or because $750 was still just a little bit too expensive. So looking at those issues, how does Apple combat this, right? From Apple's point of view, how do they start making a lot more money again like they used to? Well, create a new device with a different screen size, something a little bit smaller, and make it in countries where they're struggling. Whoa, we're hearing that the iPhone SE2, this 10e, is going to be made in India. Apple's had a really hard time there. They already have plenty of factories in China. Foxconn there makes the iPhones, so that's another struggling market where they could produce the phone. It's starting to add up to me that this is Apple's answer to increased market competition. And maybe the reason that it got delayed for so long is that we heard about it a long time ago. Apple thought that the 2018 iPhones, they wouldn't even need this device because the 2018 iPhones would sell so well. And then they realized, the iPhone's kind of slowing down. Maybe we should reboot this project that we put a big pause on in the middle of 2018 when we really thought this device would be coming out. Those are my thoughts, and that is my theory on it. I want to hear your thoughts on that down below. Do you think this is Apple's direct response to the iPhone not selling as well as it used to? Bring super premium features of the iPhone X down to a more affordable device. I do want to point out, though, I do not think this is going to be a $400 phone. That's what the iPhone SE1 cost when it was released in March of 2016. It's been about 3 years, over 3 years now since that date, and I think Apple would position this in the $600 to $800 range, and that's what the article suggests that I've been referencing. I don't think this is going to be $1,000. I also don't think there's any chance that this technology could be sold and profited on for $400 or even $500. I think if Apple really wanted to nail the market here, if they really wanted to get those sales back to where they used to be, they would make a slightly lower end device like this, but smaller physically, and sell it for $699 or $649 like iPhones used to cost. And maybe that would lead them back on a path to insane profitability like they used to have in the past. I mean, show us something really different, a small device with the iPhone X style. Who knows? Maybe that could do wonders for Apple. And maybe this is why we're seeing this report and the reason that we saw all this stuff about the iPhone SE2 in the past. I do not believe that there was that much smoke for a fire that didn't exist. I mean, right, nobody's going to be putting out these rumors. All Leaks not sharing stuff. 3 or 4 websites last year aren't going to be sharing details. I don't think they were doing this just for the clout, just to get clicks, just to get us excited for absolutely no reason. I mean, Alexar gave us these renders. Everybody showing a very similar design for the iPhone SE2 doesn't come out of nowhere. Somebody doesn't just make this up, start sending it around, and everybody just goes, yeah, this is the iPhone SE2. There was clearly something behind this rumor, and I really think that Apple could be restarting this in 2019. Of course, hit subscribe so you stay up to date on this. Drop a like down below, and that's all I have for you guys. Be sure to check out, again, using only my link down below, Raid Shadow Legends for a really cool RPG experience. That's all for now. I've been Sam, and I will see you in my next video.